Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Professor Hassan and you are watching my channel Professor Hassan Hamayu. Dear students, today I will discuss an important topic of statistics with you people. That topic is ignored by the students and I'm 100% sure that questions will come in PPSC lecturer statistics paper from that topic of vital statistics. Today I will discuss 65 essential, obligatory and compulsory questions. Before starting today's important lecture, I request everyone don't miss a single question of today's video because every question is important. Let's start. First of all, I will tell you what is vital statistics. Actually, whenever we compile, we collect the data, we analyze the data of vital events, we are dealing with the vital statistics. Now I will tell you what are vital events. There are some factors which change the size and composition of the population, of the human population. These events are called vital events. For example, deaths, they decrease the population. Births, they increase the population. Marriages, divorces, these all are called vital events. These are the cause of change in the human population. Next question is uses of vital events. Many manufacturers plan for their goods with the help of the vital statistics. For example, for food, for clothing, for jewelry and for furniture. Government uses vital statistics. Government uses for the education and other necessities of life. They use the vital events. Then vital statistics of deaths help to control the diseases, different diseases. Births and death certificates are needed. Next question is what are the shortcomings of vital statistics? Actually, many births and deaths remain unregistered. That is the shortcoming of vital statistics. And many divorced women, they show themselves a single woman. That is the cause of shortcomings of vital statistics. Then delay in compilation and tabulation of vital events, it is also the shortcoming. Then a very important question, rate and ratio. Rate and ratio are used for the comparison. First of all, I will tell you about the ratio. It is used for comparison. Its formula is A over B. A, for example, number of female. B, number of male. If there are 20 female over 10 male, that will be 2:1. It is the ratio. It is the comparison between two categories. Ratio used for comparison. And there are some important ratios I will discuss with you. The first one is sex ratio. Second one is birth death ratio. And it is also called vital index. Then the third one is child woman ratio. There is a question, what is ratio? It is the comparison between two categories, A over B. A stands for female, B stands for male. 220 over 10, 2:1 is the answer. Then there are important categories of ratio. Number one is sex ratio. Number two is child woman ratio. Third one is death or birth ratio, which is also called vital index. Now I will tell you what is sex ratio. It is the ratio between number of males and the number of females, and that is the formula is for sex ratio, number of males over number of females multiply by 100. If the answer is greater than 100, it means that there are more male as compared to females. If the answer is less than 100, it means that there are more females as compared to male. And the next one is child woman ratio. A very important one. It is the ratio between number of children of under 5 years of age and the total number of women of childbearing age, and the childbearing age is 15 to 44 or 15 to 49, and it is under 5 years. Then the next one is very, very important, and it is also called vital index. It is birth death ratio. It is the ratio between total number of births to the total number of deaths registered in a given period of time, in a given year, and the formula is number of births over number of deaths multiply by 100. If the answer is more than 100, it means that our population is increasing. There are more births as compared to number of deaths in a given period of time, in a given year. And if the answer is less than 100, it means that number of deaths are more than number of births, the population is decreasing. And if the answer is equal to 100, it means that population is stable. A very important. All multiple choice questions can be the part of the lecture statistics exam. Next question is, what is rate? It is also used for comparison. Its formula is A over A plus B. For example, A is number of male and B is number of female. And in ratio, what did we do? A ratio B. Number of female, number of male. But now, total number of in which we are interested over total. It is rate. And there are important rates I will have to discuss with you. The first one is crude death rate. A very important one, a very important MCQ. Crude death rate. It is used for finding the probability of dying of a person in a given period of time. And it is the ratio between the total number of deaths registered to the mid-year population of a given period of time. A very important one. Next one is, it has a drawback. It ignores sex, whether it is male or female, age, climate, occupation, all these things. That is the drawback. That question can be asked. Crude death rate is used to find the probability of dying of a person for a given period of time, but it has a drawback. It ignores the age. We are not interested in the old or the young people. It is not interested in the occupation of the people. They are happy or sad. It is not interested in the climate of the country. But now you will have to calculate another one, and that is specific death rate. Crude death rate has a drawback. It ignores the climate, age, occupation and sex also. Now we move towards the specific death rate. It is calculated for some specific group of people, for some specific age of people. A very important one. And when we are calculating specific death rate for male separately as well as female separately, it is called age sex specific death rate. Next question is a very important one, infant mortality rate. It is the ratio between the total number of deaths of infants less than 1 year of age, Infant mortality rate is the ratio between the total number of deaths of infant to the total live births registered. A very important one. And the low infant mortality rate signifies that the maternity cases are not well attended. And if infant mortality rate is low, it means that the maternity cases are attended well, the food and hygienic conditions are good. And if the infant mortality rate is high, it means that the maternity cases are not well attended. Next question is, infant mortality rate is the indicator of healthiness of a society. It tells us about the hygienic condition of the people. Next question is, standardized death rates. Standardized death rates are computed for two regions, for two areas. Whenever we have different age, we have different sex, we have different occupation and climate, we use the standardized death rates. We compute the death rates for different regions, for different areas. Next is crude birth rate. It is the ratio between the total registered live births to the total mid-year population during the same year. Next is age specific birth rate. It is also for the specific age. We calculate the birth rate for the specific age. Next is standardized birth rate. It is calculated for two regions, for two areas. Next is general fertility rate. It is the ratio between total live births registered during an year to the women of childbearing age. And I have told you childbearing age is 15 to 44 years or 15 to 49 years. A very important question. Next question is, registration of births, deaths and marriages are legal documents. Next, vital rates of the population are expressed as per thousand. A very important question. Vital rates, crude death rate, standardized death rate, specific death rate, infant mortality rate, they all are calculated for per thousand. A very important one. Next is net reproduction rate is always less than equal to gross reproduction rate. NRR is always less than equal to GRR. Next is fertility rate is growth of the population. Fertility rate is used for checking the growth of the population. Next is total fertility rate is sum of age specific fertility rates. Next question, population of a country becomes stable when fertility and mortality are same for the long time. Fertility means growth, mortality means deaths. Next is fertility rate depends upon female population, the childbearing age. A very important question. Next is reproduction can be measured by total fertility rate. Next, fertility rates provide basis for family planning. Age specific fertility curve is highly positively skewed. Next, life table is also called mortality table. It is also called survival table as well as life expectancy table. Next is a population with constant growth rate. Constant growth rate. It is not increasing or decreasing. It is stable population. Next is the general death rate is technically crude death rate. Next, a population close to migration with time independent constant birth and death rate is called stable. Next, the neonatal mortality is the period wherein death occurs before completing 4 weeks of life. When a newborn child death has been died before the completion of 4 weeks, it is called neonatal. A very important neonatal mortality. Next question is survival rate in general is measured through number 1 the difference between crude birth and death rates. All right, correct one. Next, the ratio of difference between birth and death to mean population. It's also correct. Next is sampling registration system fails to record age sex composition. Next is age specific death rate of babies less than 1 year of age is known as I told you, it is called infant mortality rate. All those children who died before the completion of 1 year of age, it is called infant. Next is the socio-economic status of the community is the best reflection by infant mortality rate. Next, standardized death rates are useful for the comparison of death rates between two regions, two areas. Next question, the one who has not had a single child is called sterile. Who has not a single child is called sterile. Next is fertility rate mainly depends on female population in the childbearing age group. Next, crude death rate, standardized death rate, specific death rate are the principal rates for measuring mortality. They all are used for measuring the mortality rate actually. Crude death rate lies between 8 and 30 per thousand. Next, the death rate obtained for a segment of a population is called specific death rate. We are calculating the death rate for the specific thing. For a specific segment, it is called specific death rate for a particular segment. Next is the death rate of women due to delivery of children is known as maternal mortality rate. Whenever we are discussing the death rate of mothers of the females during the delivery, it is called maternal mortality rate. Next question number 62, denominator of the crude birth rate is mid-year population. We take the denominator mid-year population. Next is crude death rate provides probability of dying of a person in a given period of time, as I told you earlier. Next, gross reproduction rate is defined as total fertility multiply female live births over total live births. Last question of today's lecture, a growth of population depends upon increase in birth, decrease in death and immigration. All of these is the correct option. I will wait for your precious comments on today's vital lecture. Assalamu alaikum.